Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 3 Career Mode, coming off of a Daytona 500 win for Reed Sorensen, which could put him in the playoffs if he stays in the top 30 in the standings here by the time we get to the end of Indianapolis. So he has a chance to basically waste a playoff position. So we'll see if he can make it into the playoffs. But we're going into Atlanta today here in the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series, and we had William Byron in the car for the Xfinity Series. You're going to see William in the car a handful of times throughout this season. Obviously, we took over his ride in the Cup Series this season, so it's only best to just give him a shot here in Xfinity. He will be back in the 24 car, obviously, next season, as the only reason we really came over to the 24 is to try to put it up front this season and then take over Jimmie Johnson's position next season, as he is now in his final season in our NASCAR Heat 3 career mode. There's William Byron. He would get up to P15, as you saw about the midway point, as he came through now to the final lap of this race. He had been running in the 13th position as he came through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time, making it 3 wide on the outside of Ty Dillon in the 3, and Brandon Jones as he came out of turn 4, heading down the front straightaway. He would get passed by Matt Tifft as he came across the line. He would get P14 in Atlanta. So not the best result for William Byron and our team, but something to hopefully build off of in the next race at Las Vegas for the Xfinity Series. But now it's time to set our sights, obviously, on the Cup Series race here in Atlanta. This is a track that we usually run top 10 at, but we usually don't qualify very good there, as we had the team contacts, and the only contacts we had was Hendrick Motorsports and then 3-star teams, simply because of how bad we're doing in points after being taken out in the Daytona 500. So obviously we contact Hendrick because we already know that we're coming back to this team next season. But I wasn't expecting the best qualifying effort here in Atlanta. As we come through turns 3 and turns 4, it felt like I was getting around the track pretty good, but it just seems like the AI's qualifying speed is just really good at this track. As we come across the line, it's going to be P16 with a 29.416, and I didn't really think of much that I could have done better, so hopefully we can work our way forwards here in Atlanta. So let's get to it.
Welcome to Atlanta Motor Speedway for the running of the Folds of Honor Quick Trip 500. This 1.5-mile oval is popular with both fans and drivers alike. It's popular because 21 years of wear has widened the racing groove from the apron to the wall. There's very little grip, which produces side-by-side action and close finishes. Now, the track surface was all set to get resurfaced after the 2017 race, but an outpouring of opposition forced them to push that date back. Will we get another close finish today? Let's head on down to the track and find out right here on PRN.
All right, we're ready to go green here in Atlanta with Chase Elliott and Jamie McMurray on the front row. Kevin Harvick, he failed technical inspection, so he will be starting into in the back of the field, which pushes us up one spot to P15 as we get ready to start on the inside lane behind the 10 of Eric Almirola. As the green flag is out, Chase Elliott, our teammate, leads the way. He's certainly not happy with me lately here in our career mode, so we have to be careful when we're racing around Chase Elliott, as we have our other teammate Alex Bowman just behind me. Jimmie Johnson a few rows ahead, his final trip to Atlanta in our NASCAR Heat 3 career mode. This whole season's kind of like the going out tour for Jimmie Johnson in our career mode. Now as we head down the back straightaway, looking to the left-hand side of Kurt Busch in the 1 car as we head down into turns 3 and turns 4. For the first time, Elliott easily clear out for the lead as McMurray started second. He's down in about 4th or 5th now as we exit turn 4 on the inside of the 21 of Paul Menard there, as we quickly move our way forwards and have a chance to get into the top 10 here within the next few laps or so, hopefully. And the car felt pretty good at this point in this race. Obviously, we're only a lap and a quarter in, but it certainly felt like it had speed. Now as we come into turn 2, getting just about into the back of Eric Almirola as we head down the back straightaway, heading down towards turn 3 on the inside of Menard, clearing Menard now as we also stick it up the inside of Eric Almirola through the center of the corner, trying to take over P11 as we approach the back bumper of our teammate Jimmie Johnson. At that point, we would continue to move forwards as we came to lap 5, sitting P7 with Johnson now on my inside, coming down the back straightaway, looking to the outside of the 12 of Ryan Blaney, closing in on the back now of Ricky Stenhouse Jr., trying to move myself into a top 5 position. We would get to a top 5 spot, but we would actually start to fall back after hitting the apron, so we would end up falling down to the 10th position. Now looking to the inside of Paul Menard as we came to lap 15 of 20 in this first stage. Like I said, we hit the apron. For some reason, I could not find the clip of me hitting the apron, and that's why you didn't get to see it here in the video. But like I said, yeah, I hit the apron. We fell back to 10th, but we would get past Paul Menard hitting down the back straightaway to retake that 9th position with just over 5 to go at this point in the first stage. So holding on to stage points right now, which is nothing to be disappointed about. We didn't get any stage points in the Daytona 500, and as we came to 2 to go, approaching the white flag in the stage, we had run down Ryan Blaney for P8 now, looking to his left-hand side as we head down towards turns 3 and turns 4, and we would come through to take over the 8th position from Ryan Blaney. So like I said, certainly showing some speed in the car. It's just really all about making no mistakes at this point as we cross the line, hitting 1 to go in this first stage here in Atlanta as we come through turns 1 and turns 2 for the final time, just about getting onto the apron there as I really got close to it as we came through the center of the corner, heading out of turn 2 down the back straightaway for the final time here in this first stage. Running in that 8th position, obviously we're not going to be able to run down Martin Truex Jr. As he is right behind us too. Joe Gibbs Racing teammates of Jones and Hamlin as we come through turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. We're going to come down the front straightaway through the tri-oval. We will get P8 in stage 1 after starting 15th. It certainly could have been better, but I was still pretty satisfied with 8th here in this first stage, considering the position that we started in. And it was just me and Chase Elliott who got stage points out of the Hendrick Motorsports group. So Elliott wins the stage, picks up a playoff point, and we would come to pit road to take 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, and we would come out exactly where we came in P8. And we would get ready to go green from the 8th position to start the second stage. Elliott and Kozlowski on the front row as the green flag is out, and we are once again underway on the outside now of the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. Larson and Menard on the row behind us as Truex does not get a very good restart on my inside, but certainly he was still able to stick it up my inside, so I couldn't get clear and drop to the bottom as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. Elliott already clear of Kozlowski as he exits turn 2 and goes down the back straightaway. There's had a bit of an audio cutout, so I had to pause the game there and fix that due to my controller disconnecting. Now has come through turns 3 and turns 4, closing in on the back of the 20 of Eric Jones. And at this point, it's all about getting down to the bottom lane. We can make the top work a little bit on restarts, but certainly we want to be down on the bottom. But right now, Eric Almirola, he's there, and we make contact into the entrance of the corner there as he gets into my left rear as we head up the track. Save the car, thankfully, as we come out of turn 2. That was all on me. I saw Almirola sticking it up my inside at the last moment. I tried to get down in front of him. Unfortunately, it did not work in my favor. And as we came to the center of turns 3 and turns 4, McMurray, he would move up the track and get into my left-hand side a bit there, but we would hold on to P11 for the moment now as we cross the stripe with 16 to go here in this second stage. We will continue to move forwards and pull into the 7th position by the time we came to lap 11 in the second stage. Now looking to the inside of our former teammate Martin Truex Jr. and Kyle Busch as we cross the line, trying to make it 3 wide with them as we head down towards turns 1 and turns 2. Truex back out of the 3 wide as we come through the center of the corner on the inside of Kyle Busch, trying to get clear of him, but as we come out of turn 2, not quite able to get clear of him as we move into a top 5 position, or battle at least for a top 5 position as we head down towards turns 3. Logano at this point leading, and Chase Elliott, he had fallen behind. He was behind me, as you can see in my mirror there now as I look behind me. So we would actually lose that spot though to Chase Elliott as he would get ahead of me as we came to now just 2 laps to go in this second stage, sending it back up the inside though of the 9 of Chase Elliott, trying to take back that 4th position as we come through the tri-oval, crossing the line. The white flag at this point is in the air here in the second stage. Kozlowski and Hamlin behind me as we go down through turns 1 and turns 2. Joey Logano, he was able to win the first stage in the Daytona 500, and now as we head down the back straightaway, Logano in position to win stage 2 in Atlanta as we head down towards turns 3 and turns 4 for the final time. Chase Elliott just in front of me, right behind Eric Almirola as we come through on the exit of the corner. Not going to have enough momentum to battle with the 9 of Elliott, and Joey Logano will win the second stage as we get P5 here in stage 2. So a very solid effort once again for us in the second stage, picking up 6 points with that 5th place finish in the stage as we would come to pit road to take once again 2 cans of fuel and 4 tires, and that would be exactly what we need as we would come out exactly once again where we came in here in P5 to start this final stage. Joey Logano and Eric Jones on the front row, Almirola and Elliott on the second row, and now we have myself in P5 as the green flag is out, and we are once again underway for the final stage now in Atlanta. 37 laps remain. If it stays green till the end, we will have to make a green flag pit stop now as we come through turns 1 and turns 2. This is one of the few mile and a halves where the final stage is long enough to where we do have to make a pit stop. This track, Texas and Darlington are the 3 tracks, I think it is, mile and a half wise, that said, we do have to make a green flag pit stop if it stays green anyways, which rarely happens. It has happened in the past few times, but it's pretty rare now as we come through turn 3 and turns 4 on the inside of Eric Jones, exiting the corner, trying to take over that third position as we come through to complete the first lap of the final stage. Joey Logano in command over second place of Eric Almirola, the man who continuously gets eliminated in the first round of the playoffs in our career mode now as we come through out of turns 2. Truex sending it up my inside now, making a 3 wide as we go down the back straightaway in the middle between Jones and Truex. The two Gibbs drivers as we head down into turn 3, getting still on the outside of Truex, clearing Eric Jones though as we came out of turn 4, holding on at the moment for that 4th position as we came through down the front straightaway, crossing the line to hit 35 laps to go at this point in the race. And the car certainly felt good once again. I felt like we had a good bunch of speed and we were going to be competitive here in this third and final stage. And as this run went on, a few more laps, we would actually get passed by Kevin Harvick, who would work his way through now as we came to 25 to go. You see the leaders at this point going 3 wide as we came through turns 1 and turns 2. As I said, Harvick would get past me as we're up on the outside now, and this was a mistake. I drove up to the top and completely destroyed my momentum, so we would be sitting P6 as we came down the back straightaway, heading down towards turn 3. Eric Jones currently leading this race as we go up the inside now of the 22 of Joey Logano, taking over the top 5 position and sending it up the inside as well of Martin Truex Jr. We would take over P4, and as we came through on lap 60, running 4th still, they're going 3 wide again between Elliott, Harvick, and Jones as we go down the back straightaway. Great racing for the lead here in Atlanta as we have a big run on the back of the 4, and we're going to send it up the inside of him, making it 3 wide, and we hit the apron, and sideways we go, but we hang on to it for a brief moment. Now as we try to rejoin the track, we get loose again and make a big save as we join the track there, as that certainly could have went wrong real quick as we hang on to the car, and we would fall down to the 11th position as we came through on lap 64, running behind Kurt Busch as there's smoke up ahead at this point now as we come through the front straightaway. A big crash as we go through the grass. Truex and Harvick involved as we head down towards turns 1 and turns 2, and the caution would come out. Those two drivers were racing for the lead a while back, and they just crashed. I think one blew an engine maybe, but we would give up 25 positions because we needed 4 tires. So this puts us in a hole 34th right now with about 13 laps to go when we cross the line. And the reality is that I learned my lesson in the past, that when we take 2 tires on a late race like pit stop in the final stage, it never ends well. So I've basically now forced myself to take 4 tires because in the long run, it's going to give us a better finish than if we take 2 tires. Certainly 2 tires looks better on a short run, but certainly we don't really have a chance to do that. If we take 2 tires right now and held on to a top 10 position, the car was probably going to get really loose and we would end up finishing in like 30th. But right now we take 4 tires and fall back to 30th at the beginning of this final run now as we head down towards turns 1 and 2, and hopefully we can rebound to still get a top 10 here in Atlanta now as we come through the center of the corner, going on the outside of Ross Chastain, the watermelon boy himself, as we go down the back straightaway 3 wide with him and Castle. Chastain backs out of it as we move up to P27. We would quickly, very quickly actually, move our way forwards there as we closed in on the back of our teammate Johnson, actually getting into the back of him as he has quite a bit of front end damage, as you can tell right there. But we would continue moving our way forwards pretty quickly as we hit 12 to go in the race at this point. We would get up to P15 as we came to lap 73, going up the middle between Truex and Keselowski now as we come through down the front straightaway. I'm just going for it at this point as we come through, hitting 8 to go now in this race as we go through turns 1 and turns 2 on the outside of Ryan Newman, and we would be able to get past him and we would get past Michael McDowell, and it was just me and Paul Menard who would get away. As we came to 4 to go, we would send it up the inside of Paul Menard and take over that 10th position. Like I said, we were hoping to rebound to P10 after that pit stop, and it would happen now as we came through, approaching the final lap here in Atlanta, sitting in the 10th position. At this point, Kurt Busch was leading, coming to the white flag as we came out of turn 4, heading down the front straightaway for the final time. As the white flag comes out, Paul Menard right on my back bumper. We're certainly not safe yet. He could still steal the 10th place finish from me as we come through turns 1 and turns 2 for the final time here in Atlanta. Kurt Busch has had so many chances to win races in this last season and a half or 2 in career mode, and now he has a chance to do it again in Atlanta as he wants to lock himself into the playoffs. He comes out of turn 4. Kurt Busch is going to come through the tri-oval to win in Atlanta as we're going to come through and get the 10th position as we get our first top 10 with Hendrick Motorsports here in Atlanta. Thankfully, we didn't crash today. We almost crashed a couple of times when we hit the apron, made a big save, and then there was a big crash with Truex and Harvick that we were also able to avoid. So thankfully we got out of that with no damage done to the car. There's Reed Sorensen, the Daytona 500 winner, goes from 1st to 40th in the next race. So unfortunate for Reed Sorensen. But there you see on the point standings, 23rd right now, 37 points to our name. So we got a little bit of work to do still to get to the playoffs. I'm sure with maybe another strong run in Las Vegas, we will be able to get to a top 10, or not a top 10, but a playoff position after Vegas. So as always, if you guys enjoyed this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very, very appreciated. I'd like to thank you all for taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Like I said, in the next episode, we go to Las Vegas, a track that we've always been strong at, but we just haven't been able to pull off a victory at this track. So hopefully this could be the first time that we do that here in the Cup Series there. As you see, now I will bring up the playoff standings as we get a look. Reed Sorensen, he obviously still in the playoffs until he falls outside of the top 30, but Kurt Busch locks himself into the playoffs with the win here in Atlanta. So that'll do it for this episode. We're probably about 10 to 15 points out of the playoffs right now, so hopefully we can get in there in the next episode. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have yourselves a great day.